So, I basically wanted to talk just about Blue Gunlancer, and I don't know exactly what I'm going to title this video, but I'm going to try and just go over some of the stuff that I'm using, some of my concerns, and just, I guess, like an overview of the state of the class for me right now. At the end of the day, I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. So if you have opinions or things you feel about Blue Gunlancer, I don't want it to be a combative argument type thing. I totally welcome people to discuss with me in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, I don't know how everyone else feels, but for me personally, I want to be a better player. I don't think I'm the best at any ways. I think I could definitely improve, and the only way I can improve is by just learning further, right? Learning new things, playing with different people, talking to different people, and stuff like that. And for people who may have not watched any of my videos in the past and may not know who I am or why you should even listen to me talk about Blue Gunlancer, my name is Haiga. Welcome. And I have been playing Gunlancer since Lost Ark launched in the West, so around February of 2022. This is the first class I picked. It's been my main since. I mainly play blue. I have played red. I have done every single piece of content that has come out in the game as Blue Gunlancer. Some of them I also have done as red, but mainly through blue. So I cleared Vulcan when I first did Vulcan. When we first cleared Vulcan, when that launched, that was blue. Vicus, blue. Cuckoo, blue. Brel, blue. Brelhard, blue. Argos, blue. Everything possible. Buses I've done in blue. Yeah, I've definitely been playing quite a bit of it. I have quite a bit of experience, but I'm still trying to work on some things, as we have recently received a balance patch not too long ago. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I'll probably do a damage test in this video as well, because I haven't done one of those in a while. So we can start off with that, because I do want to also discuss my rotation and whatnot. And I've been playing ever since Ancient came out and I was able to set up 5 threes and a 1. I do feel like my spec is a bit low. I want to improve on that for sure. I'm also working on getting some level 10 cooldown gems. I got my first one 2 days ago. I fused up to it, and unfortunately I got a cooldown. I was hoping for a damage, because if I can fuse up to a level 10 damage gem, then I can sell it and then buy 2 level 10 cooldown gems and still have money left over. So hopefully once I start getting more gold, I can get another level 10 cooldown. I wanted to get it on Shout of Hatred, but I've tried re-rolling it a lot, and as you can tell, I don't have much silver left. So I'm going to sit with it on Shield Bash. I had it on Bash for a while, but I realized that I do not like that, because if Shield Bash, or excuse me, if Bash is on a higher gem for cooldown than Guardian's Thunderbolt and Leap Attack, then no matter what starting rotation you do, it feels off. So if you use a quick prep low shock on Leap Attack, then you start getting Bash much sooner, and then you have more downtime, which I don't like. And then same thing for Guardian's Thunderbolt, because I use the Leap tripod and the longer cooldown on Leap Attack. I usually open up with Guardian's Thunderbolt after my Bash, and with the shorter cooldown, the gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger, which I didn't like. So I will probably try and get, right now I have it on Shield Bash, so it shouldn't be too bad. And I want to ideally get them for all of my skills if possible. So I'm going to go through a rotation, just do like a little 2-minute thing real fast, and then we can talk a bit more. If you are someone who has also set up 5 threes and a 1, but you have still been playing like Nightmare, let me know how you've been liking that, because I've been thinking about it and wondering if it's better. At the end of the day, I wish I knew what just like the ultimate answer was, as far as what is the highest damage ceiling, or what does the most damage, and what rotation is the best, and all that stuff, but I don't really know how to figure that out. You know what I mean? So gonna have a little bit of downtime here because shield shock went out. That's fine. Yeah. Pop that, then we'll come up with the taunt for this next burst. Oh, I didn't put, that's right, I just left Trixie on and came back. I forgot to put my max MP increase back on. I was doing okay with that rotation too. Let's fix that real fast. We will give ourselves Spirit Absorption 3, Movement Speed 2, Attack Speed 2. The reason we do that is because that puts us at 11% for Attack Speed, Movement Speed, which is as close as we can get to the 10% that Yearning normally gives. Because I can either go to 11% or 8%, so I'd rather just be 1% higher than 2% lower. So let's try that again. But yeah, I usually do this set rotation. Even if I don't use Shield Shock, I do the same rotation, and there's no difference. The only difference is I just don't press D. Just like I am not going to press E for this entire thing, I don't use Nella for it. It's going to be the same thing here. So I get some pretty decent damage. But I've been struggling with the leap tripod and getting used to it. Because I just feel like it's such a big commitment of animation, and sometimes it feels a little scary to use when I'm in things like Belshazzar, and I feel like I can't like spacebar out of it, and it doesn't give me as much mobility as low shock does. So if you have used it, and if you feel the same way, let me know. But for everything that I'm going to talk about in this video, I'm going to be rambling a lot. I'm probably not going to edit it too much. But for anything in this video, if you just want to discuss with me or give your opinion, don't be afraid to. The comments are open. I'm not here to argue with anyone. I'm just want to talk about Blue Gunlancer, you know? At the end of the day, I'm the only one of my like close static that plays Blue Gunlancer, so I have some people from my chat that play it as well, so I get to talk with them sometimes, but that's not all the time. So I wanted to leave this open so that more people can comment, and then we can just talk as a little Blue Gunlancer community or whatnot. So this is about accurate. It's a little bit lower than what I usually get. It's weird. Sometimes I feel like with Shield Shock I get less damage, which is crazy to me because how does that make sense, you know? So that is really low. That's weird. I'm gonna try one without Shield Shock as well. This is like you can act like this is just dash upper fire, because obviously a lot of people use dash upper fire instead. So let's try that. I wonder why that would make such a difference, because I feel like when I do tests without it, I get better numbers. So I'll do a quick 2-minute test with that. What was that, like 7.3 mil or something like that? Bro, am I tripping? My numbers feel hella low. Is my weapon broken? I don't know why my numbers feel so low. Is that going to be an issue? Oh my god, barely. I need to get more level 10 gems, man. Just cooldown ones. That's the good thing about using Shield Shock, is that you get much more consistent uptime of adrenaline being at 6 stacks. Because Peep here is going to get really close. But we can keep it up with this rotation, which is nice. I don't know, it's about the same. Why do I feel like I'm doing so bad in comparison to what I used to get? Ah, I see. So I had my level 10 cooldown gem on Bash before this, and that felt weird because I was having more downtime. But now that I have it on Shield Bash, I can see that it's gonna give me more issues with adrenaline, because the Shield Bash is up sooner, so it doesn't like even out the like wave of skills that I'm using. I don't even know if that makes sense, but like there's more downtime in the adrenaline because of it. Oh, so I guess that's about accurate. I don't know. Have I given myself anything else in the past? Like as far as anything crazy? No. I think it's about accurate to what I've been using. Makes sense. But what I used to use on what most of the Blue Gunlancers that I used to look at, like on Loawa or other websites, Iloa and stuff like that, most of them used a shield charge cooldown gem. And I realized with this rotation, I don't need that. As you saw, there was never a time where I was struggling for a cooldown on shield charge. So I don't run a shield charge cooldown. And because of that, that opened up the avenue of getting another gem into the mix. So I was able to get a shield shock gem, right? I can get like a shield shock damage gem, but what I've really been using and what I prefer to use, only reason I don't have one right now is because there's none on the market and I don't have enough silver to re-roll it, is a battlefield shield gem. And no, I'm not trolling. I'm not even being memey. This is one of the main reasons that I've wanted to stay with Blue Gunlancer over playing red, is just because I've been getting so much value out of Battlefield Shield. I don't get as much value in things like Cuckoo, but in Vicus, in Volton, in Brel, and Hanamatan as well, you can get a good amount of value out of this skill. And for those of you who don't know, it was recently changed, so now it does damage when it explodes. I'm not using it as a damage skill. You can, I guess, but when you use it, it's like a mini version of your Guardian's Protection Awakening. So it gives the people within the area, it gives everyone that's within this big circle push immunity. And it does not give them status ailment immunity, so like they can still get stunned or you know, receive status effects, but it does give them push immunity, which can be very, very good for classes that don't have as much tenacity in their kit, or classes that are trying to get off their big damage, and the bosses can throw out attacks that interrupt them, right? Think of a class like a striker during a lightning tiger strike, or you're trying to get off a death rattle, or a Sork who's casting doomsday, or a summoner who's trying, well, I guess for summoner it's not as important because they get push immunity when they're casting things like a Kier, but you get the point. When you have people on your team who are casting or using a skill, you can use that on them to make them immune to pushes for a few seconds. It doesn't last as long as the other awakening, but it's enough time that if used properly, it can really, really help. It also, you absorb all the damage in that shield. Everyone in that circle, all of their damage gets routed to you. And so you can take a bit of damage, and if you take too much damage, it'll end early, but if you have a paladin or a bard who rhapsodies, or God Sense You, or Starry Night if you're an artist, you can protect the Gunlancer a bit more, and to make sure that it lasts for its proper duration of the 5 seconds. And maybe I'm tripping that it ends early, but I feel like if I get nuked, that shit ends pretty fast. But yeah, it also does damage now, so usually when I use it in raids, it'll end up doing like 40 mil or something like that, which is cool because that's just like an extra attack that just does 40 mil. You know, at the end of the day, I'm using it to protect my teammates. I'm not really using it for damage. So it's just another skill. And does that? It does give an adrenaline stack. Not that that matters very much. But yeah, you can also use it for burst mobility, because before, once you used it, you were locked. You could not leave until this finished. But now, if you need to get somewhere really fast, like if you're in Brel Gate 6 and you need to drop a meteor and then get off, you can use it and then just cancel it, and you can keep on moving about your day, which is so much better than it used to be. So I've really been enjoying using this skill, but I've just been feeling weird about the rotation. I don't know why. I feel like something's just not right with my Gunlancer. I don't know if maybe I should be on Nightmare. Maybe I shouldn't have gone Hallucination with the Keen Blunt. Maybe I should use Cursed All instead. Maybe, like, I'm not sure what it is that has been holding me back, but I feel like I'm missing something. I know I've dropped some spec But it's not like a damage on my skills thing that feels weird. I just feel like my rotation hasn't felt as great. Which is kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, because to be quite honest, I just don't really know what to do. I've looked at lots of different gun lancers on Korea because I feel like there aren't too many, and a lot of the gun lancers that I see on NA are just using like surge cannon or shield shock, and they're just spamming all. They're not even doing things in a rotation. They're just spamming stuff. And there should be a rotation, as a lot of classes do have a proper rotation, so that you have your self buff up when you use your big skills and that you can keep up your adrenaline stacks, because at the end of the day, adrenaline is very, very, very important for this class, whether you're playing Nightmare or you're playing Hallucination. Because if you're playing Hallucination Keen Blunt, then obviously you want the 15% additional crit rate for your Keen Blunt so that you do more damage. And if you're playing Nightmare, you only have like 20% crit. So going up like 15% crit rate is going to make a big difference to your damage. You're going to be going from like what, 20 to 35 or something like that, or 25 to 35, you know, depending. And that matters. That's a pretty big difference. When your crit rate is that low, going up any type of crit rate at all will definitely show in your damage. I have definitely also been wanting to switch off of stabilized status as of recently, for no other reason other than when I do buses and I need to atropine, it's annoying, because if I atropine, how much does it do? HP minus 25%. So one atropine, boom, I'm insta under the threshold for stabilized status. So I need to atropine and then pot immediately after, which is annoying. I'd rather just atropine, and if there's like a paladin or something, get healed up naturally through the blessed aura that's already up as a damage boost. Or if the bard is going to throw down like a one bubble after or something like that, I don't want to have to just eat a pot every time I use an atropine. Just for the damage. But unfortunately, I didn't realize that beforehand because I wasn't really using atropines as much. And now I don't have a class piece to go for. And it's funny because I recently sold a necklace or an earring for 200k. Combat Readiness 5, Cursed all 3, and I could have used that. Probably wouldn't have used it. Probably still would have sold it. But like, I wish I had something. You know, there's just like nothing else that I can like ambush master. This one's barricade. 200k. Holy, when did this get listed? That's kind of juicy, I'm not gonna lie. Anyone got 200k? But that's like a forever necklace. Wait, when did this get listed? Oh, like 2 hours ago. But yeah, I want to see if I can get rid of stabilized status for that reason. And I do want to get more level 10 gems. I don't know if I talked about this already, but I fused up to this one. And if I can fuse up to another level 10 and get a damage gem, then I can sell the damage gem and buy 2 level 10 cooldowns. But I don't have a lot of silver right now. So I don't know. I'm kind of in a stuck spot because I have a decent amount of gold. I've got 63k. I literally just brought a level 7 gem. But I'm struggling. I'm struggling in that sense. I have LOS 30 as well, by the way, in case anyone was wondering when I was doing the damage test. But yeah, I like Battlefield Shield overall. I like Battlefield Shield. I feel awkward with my rotation. I don't know if Nightmare or Hallucination is better. I don't know what I should do. I don't know how I feel about Shield Shock versus Dash Upper Fire, because I feel like Shield Shock gives you more damage. But at the same time, I feel like if you miss a counter or you can't get a counter because you don't have dash upper fire, I feel like I'm trolling. And I don't know if that's just me putting too much pressure on myself. Because at the end of the day, I'm not the only person in the raid. I'm not soloing it, so I shouldn't have to be the only one worried about getting counters. So let me know how you feel. I think it's different because I started playing this game as a Gunlancer, so when I had to adjust and learn how to play and get better, I learned as a Gunlancer, right? I learned in the way of doing damage, but more so trying to help my teammates, right? Because I have 2 synergies, because I have a Purify, because I have a shield, because I have good stagger, because Red has really good weak point. You learn about all of those things, and so going over to my DPS characters, I've always played a bit more selflessly. If you are someone who was started the game as a more selfish class, like just a DPS who your job is just to mainly do damage. You're not expected to counter. You're not expected to do anything crazy. You just pump, and you play Gunlancer. I want to find a way to bridge the gap there, because I don't want to just get rid of Nella, put Surge Cannon, only run Shield Shock, not have a good counter, not have good weak point, and just be damage, 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 not care about other people and stuff like that, right? I still want to be able to play well for my friends and to help my raid, but I feel like I'm lacking individually, which I don't like. So if you have any tips, advice, or if you just want to talk and get some things off your chest as well, let me know down in the comments, because at the end of the day, I feel like that's how we can get better. That's how I can get better personally, is just talking with other people who play the class just like I do, who care about the class just like I do, because not a lot of my friends play Gunlancer, and not a lot of my friends play Blue at that. So it's tough. It's very, very tough. So I hope this may be helpful to some people, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. If you want to catch me live on Twitch, I'm usually live Wednesday through Friday, and it depends on what days I have work, because I work part-time. So I have work tomorrow, Sunday, but I'm usually almost always live Wednesday. Well, no, I'm definitely always live Wednesday, Thursday, and then the other days that I'm live just depend on what days I'm scheduled for work. So until next time, it's been your boy. Have a good one.